I too have a hard time in this current phase of life carving out space to be intentionally silent. One of the ways in which I just decided that I could be most present to God is if I was most present to my family. And what I realized is like, oh, I can love God by loving them. Last year, we were on a trip in New York. My family, we love theater. We were going to see Hadestown, the musical. I was really intentional about just not being on my phone. And we're walking up to the show, just really enjoying the moment. We're going to walk through Times Square, and they haven't seen it. Hold my daughter's hand, and I look up, and I just see this billboard, and it's just said, "It can wait." And it was like that moment. It was like such a teaching revelatory moment that like I'm not thinking about Jesus all the time as a songwriter. Like that's just not how I'm living my life. It's more so it gets interrupted by God.
Yeah.
Where it's like someone hits the pause button on life and God's like, "Hey, how you doing? Trying to point something out to you." And it just felt like in that moment, I realized if I need to learn to wait on Jesus, my anxiety and my fear and my uncertainty and my stress, it needs to learn to wait at the feet of Jesus. I kind of sat with that for about 3 months and just kind of let those ideas kind of stew in my heart, and then eventually got together with some friends like you do in Nashville and wrote a song. And wasn't thinking about all of the scripture tie-ins, like Psalm 40, of like, I waited patiently on the Lord and he stooped and heard my cry. He lifted me out from the pit of destruction. But then when the day that we were writing them, those all came flooding in. And I was thinking of Martha and Mary for some reason. Like that was the image in my head. And the thing that people miscategorize about that moment is that they're actually both doing something.
Yeah.
So the problem is people think Mary's not doing anything. And Martha's like, I'm doing all the work. So waiting is an action. And waiting is something that you can do in the midst of doing other things. There is a form of waiting, which is silence, but there's also a form of waiting, which is like, I'm going to go throughout my day. And as I go throughout my day, God, I'm going to try to be more and more present or attentive to you and ask you to speak throughout the course of my day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't necessarily shut down my whole life right now. Thank goodness you don't need me to do that in order to speak to me.